Hello again, everyone. Verrill here, Flo out of Portland. My name is Verrill, and I have some information I think that's worth listening to, at least for those that are in the roofing industry, for those that are considering getting something relating to roofing projects taken care of in the near future, and what that means for folks. Is the BBB really all that it claims to be? What about all these different third-party warranties? What's the rest of the industry doing? How do we want to proceed? What's the best interest for the property owner, decision makers, and what's real, what's not? There's a lot of fake stuff out there these days, right? So I am trying to just be as helpful as I possibly can, because I know there's a lot of people that are confused about all the information out there. I have made Flow to be a truth machine, if that makes sense. And part of going with the flow is telling people what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. And the need to hear aspect of it really makes sure that we can build trust around the facts and not have to worry about selling anything that people don't need. I've never wanted to think that we've ever sold a roof in Flow's history. We don't sell roofs at Flow Roofing. It sounds weird. We'll talk about it at a different video at a different time. But you give people the right information, and you answer questions. You're punctual. You're a good listener. You ask them what they think they want. When are they going to move? What's their investment strategy? What's their risk tolerance? Risk tolerance for going with someone who doesn't have a third-party accredited backup warranty, or doesn't have a track record, or doesn't have a team that can be there, right? Because more than ever, I'm not able to answer the phone. I answer the phone, but I can't be there for every inspection, is what I mean. I can't have conversations with the hundreds of requests every month we get to ensure that you have the best experience possible. I rely on my training to give the team the tools they need that are based on my experience of what I know worked, for the conversations I've had with my property owners back in the day, and even select property owners today, to make sure that they're making the best decisions so that they can make the best investments for what's right for that property. And so that's a long-winded introduction for really covering what the hell the BBB is, and what the Directorii.com warranty is, by Roofing Insights, or Dmitri Lipinskiy, who everyone should know at this point. It's always shocking that people don't. But the BBB, the Better Business Bureau, is a third-party pay-to-play organization. They do not certify. They do not provide warranties as any vendor who uses the BBB, because they have a little bit of history and a bit of clout. Here's an example. So we chose to see what would happen if we didn't participate in the BBB. We let it lapse, right? And they said, well, we're going to keep your profile, but we're not going to delete it. And we're going to say on that profile, not, in bold, not BBB certified or BBB accredited, right? So you can still find us on the BBB, but you're not going to be certified, and we're going to let everyone know you're not certified. And that was okay. I understood what they were doing, but at the same time, I was like, you guys are just upset you didn't get your $600 a year. And so we jump back on, and they go, oh yeah, Flow is back to being BBB certified, but it doesn't do anything for the consumer. It's a brand that has acquired so much attention from businesses that want certification and third-party validation, aka social proof, because whatever reason, maybe their reputation or the reviews isn't proper. Okay, it's not up to snuff. And so the BBB is a crock of shit. Frankly, it's a pay-to-play organization. The BBB doesn't do anything that actually tells you whether that company is worth doing business for. Okay. Now, on the other side of the coin, you have players like Roofing Insights, aka Directorii.com, that are actually providing third-party warranty services for the property owners that allow you to get a third-party vetted contractor that has their finances on point, that has all the proper insurance, their reputation is good. And at that point, you have an additional bubble of protection for whatever reason. Something happens to a company, they're Directorii.com certified, you get that third-party warranty that kicks in. And their lawyers, from the way that Directorii.com's founder, Dmitri, describes it, will pursue the enforcement for you. For whatever reason, material failures happen prematurely, manufacturers are trying to push back, or workmanship-related issues and the contractor disappears, something, okay? Flow's going on 10 years, and we've had issues we've fixed over time. That's part of doing business. You have to pursue perfection in order to find out you're not perfect. Sometimes things break. So the system breaks, make the system better, right? And build it back and tell everyone about it. So it's important to have that transparency around extra protection, and it not coming from the source, okay? Like, you may not know who I am, you may not know my background, you may not know who Flow is, but you can find, and it's actually spread now, I think, through all of the trades, most of the trades, that you can find accredited installers for plumbing, electrical, HVAC. I'm sure there's other trades in there, siding, maybe paint, I'm not sure, on Directorii.com that are vetted properly to make sure they're worth hearing from, because of the standards Dimitri's put forth around the industry. And so if you don't know who Directorii.com is, go to Directorii.com, search for the Trade Near Me tool and what you're looking to have done, and you're going to find people's reputation put up front. They're going to have a little profile. You can see what they do, what they don't do, a little more insights about who that company is. But compared to the BBB, you actually get something from Roofing Insights at Directorii.com. Directorii.com. It's backwards maybe on the screen, but 2 eyes, and it's starting to gain momentum in the industry, hopefully across home services, so that way you property owners know who you're dealing with by someone who's been there for over a decade, Dmitri, in vetting bad workmanship, poor company management, bad players in the industry. And it's important because, I mean, even still today, we're running into property owners that have bad experiences. Unfortunately, some people live in a bubble where they think the world is all sunshine and lollipops still. There are people getting affected still by poor workmanship, and even we know a story firsthand of people that are stealing deposits. Okay, Flo had an impersonator 2 years ago that was pretending to be Flo, and it was a big old issue. There was a news story about it. It was actually pretty upsetting. I get really emotional around that stuff because I'm trying to build something based on the fact that we're stepping up to do the right thing time and again by doing the harder thing, by training in-house, by trying to have a shop, to have a showroom, to bring in questions, to be able to provide as much value as possible for property owners, because roofing is not cheap. We want to reduce the barrier to entry by increasing the trust. And we can go more into that in depth later, but Roofing Insights and Dmitri Lipinskiy with Directorii.com have allowed homeowners to be more educated, to ask better questions. And I strongly recommend this for all the consumers out there. Go onto YouTube, search Dmitri Lipinskiy, start educating yourself about roofing. Learn from the source. Dmitri is interviewing the best, the literal best in the industry. Then for you to get the best information possible, you need to see what it's like at the top. You need to know what these companies are doing, what the other companies are not doing, so that you know what to look for when it comes to making a proper decision for you and your family. If you're older, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, if you're senior, I'd say north of 60 years old. My dad's 63. My mom's 74-ish, I think. Which sucks. They're getting older, right? But it's that silver tsunami. All the baby boomers around the entire country are already retired, if not retiring very soon. And you guys are coming from the golden days of, I know you because you know me, we're in the same community, and my brother told me about you. There's a social connection in the baby boomer era that anyone who grew up in the 90s, maybe, and then definitely after 2000s, will never know, because technology didn't exist. There was so much more trust in the human experience because of technology being almost non-existent. You can imagine trying to get somewhere in a city and only having I remember as a kid, my parents would always be stopping to ask, where's this, where's that? As we're traveling around, it's like you have to rely on human connection. And that just doesn't exist in this day and age, other than what you get through the screen. It's isn't it annoying? I'd say it's one of the best aspects of growing this company is that I've found my people. We've got 26 people on payroll. I know everyone, their history. I know what they like, they don't like. I know what they want, right? And that's creating an amazing culture that I feel like there when I was, pizza is still a great way. You break bread, you're with people, and that's also an amazing connection. But with building a company where we see everyone daily, and if we don't see someone, then it's like upsetting. It's like, oh shoot, where's Paulina? Where's Kate? Where's Sierra? Where's my sister? And so that being said, having a third-party accredited social proof machine like Directorii.com help you connect, help you answer questions, help you discern, help you save money, help you reduce risk. It's priceless. And then when you see people that rock that BBB, just know they're paying to play. They're just acquiring additional social proof. We have it because they tried to almost seem like they were pushing away people because we were not accredited, which is annoying. So you want to get something for what you're paying for. You want a warranty, you want peace of mind, you want the best ROI for the investment, period. I can't speak for any of the other trades out there. We don't even do siding here at Flow. There's been a ton of requests. We've passed on a ton. You can imagine out of thousands of projects, you see rotten cedar, you see all these issues with the siding, you see bad windows, and we just walk right by it. And I wouldn't even care to refer a client to anyone. One, because I have a hard time with finding quality siding, windows, and paint people. I feel like those trades in general are harder to come by. Paint is a completely different world. Those guys are a different breed. There are great painting companies out there, but like individuals, it's very different. And then, there's not much accreditation for those folks out there. So, ongoing training for all that is on a different level. So, I have a couple here, other topics to talk about. We're going to go ahead and pause on this one. Just wanted to put it out there that for those people's out in the silver tsunami era, you need help with vetting who you're talking to. I would be hyper vigilant if anyone is trying to get you to sign the same day. Now, you may be the small, tiny percentage of buyers that are ready to sign when you find the right company. But I find, when I was doing inspections, when I was first starting out, 60 to 70% of my inspections were women, for whatever reason. And so, as I'm educating the ladies, as I'm talking to any homeowner, property owner, decision maker, I'm begging, I'm inviting you to go get more information. I want you to know what you need to know. I want you to go get 3 to 5 different quotes. I need you to go get the best information possible so you can be the best educated buyer, because I know you're going to come back and ask better questions. And at that point, we can have a better conversation, right? I don't always like to start a conversation with someone who doesn't know anything about roofing, who hasn't done any homework, right? Generally, if people are calling Flow, they have great taste, high standards, great expectations of a company that can do things right the first time. And that's an honor. It comes with a lot of practice. It doesn't happen overnight. It's taken almost a decade here. So in order to get to the second decade mark, right, we're going to continue to step it up, and how can we provide more value to those homeowners, those property owners. But again, I'm fairly jealous of all the boomers and the boomers' children that had grown up earlier than the 90s. I had a great childhood with the 90s and growing up with the Nintendo and everything and the Game Boys and stuff. But that to live in a society without technology and to rely on human connection to know who to do business with is the reason why marketing through word of mouth is still number one. It's still referrals. It will always be, hey, who do you know? Who do you like? Who do you not like? And I wish we could get back to something like that. You see the trend on all the people that are that have, quote, made it. They use flip phones. They don't use the internet. They don't scroll, right? They walk through their life interacting as if it was still the 90s, right? And that helps establish trust. It helps save time. Certainly helps the focus, right? And distills the connection to a really human level that I wish we had more of as a society. But you know, what can we do? This is just the way things are going to go. And I mean, we'll talk about AI in a separate video, but AI is a completely different beast. I don't see robots shingling anytime soon. I don't know why we would ever try to take away such a valuable labor force from the states for individuals that are doing some of the hardest work in the world. It doesn't make any sense. But strong opinions, strongly held in some cases. Some of the other ones around technicalities can be strong opinions, loosely held. It just depends. So that's what I got for this morning. If you guys have any questions, certainly if you want to engage in the comments, we can banter and we can shoot the shit. But that's basically my thoughts, and I think it's worth considering a third party that'll stand by the contractors they're certifying, not just hear your complaints, if any, and say, sorry, can't do much about it. You know, we told you should trust them and you listened to us, but you know, something went wrong just because they decided to be too trusting. So, all right, catch you guys on the next one. Ciao.